Welcome back to another physics thought process and methodology video. This video is on electrostatics 1. Once again, this video isn't intended to give you the answers directly to these questions, but rather the thought process and formulas that goes into aiding you in finding the answers. Okay, so let's begin with question number 1. Question number 1 states that if you rub two balloons together with a certain charge, and hold them a certain distance apart, what is the electric force between the balloons? In order to find the force, you would just substitute this into the equation that F is equal to K times Q1 Q2 over R squared. In this equation, we know that Q1 is equal to Q2 since both balloons have the same charge, and you know the distance is given as 0.67 meters. K is the same. Coulomb's constant is always 9 times 10 to the power of 9, and you would simply solve for F knowing all these values. Now question number 2. Question number 2 here states that someone uses a hairspray and the drops repel with a certain force at a certain distance, and they want to find the charge of each of the drops, and they're equally charged. So same thing once again. We have F is equal to K times Q1, Q2, or for simplicity, since Q1 is equal to Q2, I'll simply be writing Q squared over R squared. And in order to reorder this equation to make sure that we can find the charge, you would get F divided by K times R squared is equal to Q squared. Now square root this entire side, and you will find that the charge is equal to the square root of the force, which is given in the equation, divided by Coulomb's constant, times the distance squared. One thing to keep in mind, the distance is given in centimeters. You need to convert it to meters by multiplying it times 10 to the power of negative 2 before you solve. Question number 3. Question number 3 states that sugar is poured from a box, and each of the grains acquires a certain charge. You know the distance, you want to find the force between them. This is the exact same as question number 1, where K is equal to Q1, Q2. You know that each grain has, F is equal to K times Q1, Q2 over R squared. And you know R, you know Q1 and Q2 are the same value, you know K. All you are doing is solving for the force. And so substitute it back into this equation, and you will find your answer. K, once again, is 9 times 10 to the power of 9. Okay. Question number 4. Question number 4 states that Mr. Lyons is photocopying lab sheets for his first period class. And a particle toner has a certain charge. It's copying with an electric field of a certain field, and you want to find the field force. You have the Coulombic value of the charge, and you have the electric field in newtons per coulomb. And if you were to take coulombs times newtons per coulomb, you get newtons. So all you would do is multiply both values in order to get the force, since the variables cancel out. Question number 5. Question number 5 states that two pieces of puffed rice are present, and you know the force, you know the distance, and you are asked to find the charge. Both charges have the same, both pieces of rice have the same charge. So once again, plug it into the equation where F is equal to K times, I'll just write Q squared over R squared. When it's rewritten, we know that it's the square root of F over K times R squared is equal to Q. And this would simply be how you find the charge of a singular piece. Question number 6 states that a bug zapper strays between charge plates of a device. You are asked to find voltage. You know that the electric field is in volts per meter. You know that the distance is in centimeters. If you were to convert it to meters instead, however, you could take volts per meter times meters is equal to volts. So simply multiply the values and take the centimeter value, where in this case is 5.606 times 10 to the power negative 2 would give you the value in meters. So volts per meter times meter is equal to volts. Question 7. A fly accumulates a certain charge, and you know its distance. You are asked to find the electric field. And electric field, okay. In this scenario, you are given Q source and not Q test. So instead, you would use the equation that the electric field is equal to Q source divided by R squared times K. And Q source is the charge that the fly accumulates. The distance is R squared. Make sure to once again convert it from centimeters to meters. And K is once again 9 times 10 to the power of 9. Next question. Question 8. James recharges his battery, which is in volts, by sending a certain charge through it. How much potential energy? Okay, so the definition of a volt is stated as joules per coulomb. And so in order to find the amount of joules given volts and coulombs, volts times coulombs is equal to joules. So take the voltage value times the coulombic value, and you will have your answer. Question 9. A cartoon witch has a silk scarf and a crystal ball. It gets charged, and this is going to be Q source. And you are given the electric field strength. You want to find the distance. In order to find the distance, you know your electric field strength is a certain value, and that is equal to your Q source times K. Q source times K divided by R squared. Rewrite this in order to find R. You would have E divided by Q times K. And take, oh, sorry, never mind. There's an easier way to do this. And that would just be to take Q times K divided by E. And now you would get that as R squared instead. And if you take the square root of that, you get R. So simply take the charge times Coulomb's constant of 9 times 10 to the power of 9 divided by your electric field strength, and then square root that. Number 10. Amir shuffles his feet, and this creates a voltage of 8,544. There's a certain distance between his hand and the door. You are asked to find the electric field strength. So knowing that electric field strength times distance is equal to your voltage, you'd simply take the voltage divided by the distance is equal to your electric field strength. And now question 11 states that Ernie pulls his wool sweater over his head and it gets a certain charge, and a piece of lint experiences a certain force. You're given the force value, you're given the charge value. In order to find the electric field strength, you would take force divided by charge. And just look at the units most of the time. The units can give you the answer. So take the lint's force divided by the charge of the lint, and you get the electric field strength. And finally, question 12. Courtney switches on a TV, and an electron experiences a force of a certain amount of newtons. You're expected to find the electric field force. Here it's a bit hidden, but you're actually given the charge. The charge of an electron is 1.6 times 10 to the power of negative 19. 10 to the power of negative 19. And in order to find the electric field strength, all you would have to do is take the force divided by the charge of an electron, and you will get your answer. And that's all for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe.